With so many boards on the market today, it takes some research to separate the bandwagon brands from the ones that are serious about putting good quality boards on the market. In our final video of this series, we're offering more great tips on how to choose your first or next board. We have come to the last video of our three-part series, How to Choose Your First or Next Board Consumer Guide Crash Course. If you are just joining this series, I highly encourage you to start with the very first video. The purpose of this series is to help consumers make their best informed decision when purchasing an electric skateboard. So without further ado, let's get started. In our previous videos, we discussed things to consider, such as how to know what type of board is best for you, wheel types, drivetrains, and performance. To top off this series, we will talk about range and design. So let's get started. Understanding range. When it comes to range, you might be a rookie if you don't question manufacturer quoted distances for range. Range on an e-skateboard varies, and there are many factors at play. Be sure to consider these things if range is something important in your buying decision. Battery. The capacity of the battery is measured in watt-hours. This is what you will need to know in order to better calculate maximum range. It's obvious that batteries will fall at different scales. A weaker battery is not going to take you far. You might read on the site that range is 25 miles, but notice the battery capacity doesn't quite match. If it ain't got the capacity, it ain't happening. The battery has to have the watt hours to go the miles, speed, and endure the time it's out on the streets. Riding style. What is your style? If this will be your first board, think about the type of driver you are. If this is your next board, reevaluate your style and decide if you might want to switch it up and have a different style. Are you an aggressive rider that likes to push the board to its limits, speeding, carving hard, zipping in and out of traffic, making fast turns? That will eat at range considerably as your battery works hard to supply the juice. Or maybe you're more of a cruiser, just happy to be outside and enjoying the scenery, not really caring to hit top speed. You might be able to drag out that longer range. Or maybe if e-skate was mainstream and had national pathways, you'd be in the slow lane, taking it steady and saving a lot of that battery and getting ultimate range. Whatever your style, there's a board for that. Weight. Another heavy hitter to the range impactor factor. I did mean to rhyme that, and no pun intended. This is quite an obvious one. The lighter rider gets the most range and faster speeds. Heavier riders get the least range and slower speeds. But even knowing this, the turns may table due to riding style. If you are a heavy rider, battery capacity is important to note as well as weight limit. So always make sure you find this information in the product description. Oh yeah, and don't forget to factor in the weight of the board too. Yikes. Terrain. We got flat, hilly, slopey, rocky, bumpy, slippery, smooth, grass, dirt, and everything in between that riders will adventure through. Naturally, the smoother the plane, the less resistance and less power your battery has to output. And naturally, the more rougher the terrain, the more power your battery has to output. So give thought to this and make sure the board will foot the bill. Wheels. Can't forget about the wheels. Larger wheels help you reach top speed faster but decrease range. Smaller wheels give you better range but take longer to reach top speeds. Oh, decisions, decisions. That's why sometimes it's good to have both. However, if you don't have options, this is where knowing how you plan to use your board comes into play. If you are using your board to commute, find a good in between to have great range and comfort. If you casually cruise and street ride, smaller wheels may be the sweet spot. If it's comfort over range, then go big. There's always the option to grab extra batteries depending on the board. Design. Even with everything we've discussed in this video, the design of a board can certainly beat out some of those factors when the buying decision comes into play. On top of meeting performance standards, manufacturers are also challenged with designing an aesthetically pleasing board. Let's talk board physique. Deck. A deck, in my opinion, is one of the most important things on a board, behind the battery and ESC. The best decks are ones that are able to let you position your feet in such a way that they feel snug, giving you maximum confidence. When you are pumping to carve, turning, or going at top speed, as well as more comfort and less foot fatigue when riding. Most decks have some concave to them and help give riders the stability and confidence. Some are more convex with slight concave. Over time, deck designs have been improving exponentially. Trucks. Great trucks are stable, reliable, and have great maneuverability. Traditional kingpin trucks are the most stable, especially at higher speeds. Double kingpin trucks are known for their maneuverability, but aren't as stable at higher speeds. There are also split-angle traditional kingpin trucks that give you the maneuverability of double kingpin and the stability of traditional kingpin trucks. Can't wait to see where we go from here. Bushings along with trucks aid in maneuverability of the board. These range in hardness and softness, known as durometer. If the durometer of the bushing is too soft, your board turns too easily. Too hard, and it barely turns at all. Heavier riders tend to need harder bushings, as lighter riders can utilize a softer bushing. Bearings. Bearings are what allow the wheel to roll freely. Good bearings have a silky, smooth roll, while not so good bearings interrupt the groove of a smooth ride. Good quality bearings are a very considerate choice for a manufacturer to make. Pay extra attention to this one. IP rating. Weather resistance is another component of design that impacts the buying decision. Boards are used outside, so being able to take a little or a lot of splashes of H2O makes sense. While no board is waterproof or weatherproof, high resistance to moisture adds confidence when making a buying decision. I mean, we don't want our board frying when a little water touches it. Be sure to check the IP rating, but also don't go riding through deep puddles or anything like that. Price. It's all about the Benjamins, the pounds, the AUDs, the ringgits. Okay, I'm done. All in all, riders want the best deal for the money spent. The great news is that in today's market, there are more than enough boards with range and specs that fit pretty much every rider's budget. There are even some manufacturers offering flexible payment options that allow riders to spread out payments over time instead of dropping a lump sum. Additionally, With the added flexibility of going the DIY route, there's definitely opportunity to have the board you dream of. And that will conclude our final video. I have enjoyed bringing you these tips throughout our three-part series and hope that you find these tips helpful when purchasing your first or next electric skateboard. Don't forget to like the video, share your own tips in the comments, subscribe, and share this video with someone you'd like to introduce to eSkate. As always, have fun, be safe, and stay sauced. Until next time, thanks for watching.